Thumbs up for the pimple on the nose, dude. And you know what? Some dude was complaining that he didn't like my shirt, so we're gonna unbutton one button just for you kind of guys, dude, right? Remember, if you like the videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share, support the channel if you want. I appreciate it. Thanks. I know I'm super late. I actually finally sort of looked at Street Fighter 6. Not in depth. I would say I've watched about 15 minutes of it, okay? Again, I don't play a lot of video games. I just haven't been really interested. Obviously, I was in Turkey, I guess, when it first got shown off. And since then, if you've been seeing, I've been in the hospital like 3 times, or 3 times this week, 3 times last week, whatever. So my health sucks, you know. But anyway, so I actually looked at Street Fighter 6. Not going to analyze it totally, but I actually kind of saw the system, so to speak. So my knee-jerk thoughts on it, reactions, I guess, because people have still asked me, not analyzing, but just little knee-jerk reactions is... I do think the idea that, again, I'm not a fan of EX moves in general. I don't like EX moves for every single move. I think it's terrible, and I've given my reasons why, and no one's ever been able to give me even remotely an intelligent argument. However, I will say what I do think that having the drive system is for the EX moves and the super bar is separate. I do think that this fixes a quotation marks problem that can happen in video games. And that I do think as video games have progressed throughout fighting games have progressed throughout the past 30 years, whatever it is, I do think that supers don't feel special enough, especially in games when you have EX moves or even in Guilty Gear. As much as good things as I've said about Guilty Gear, you know what I mean? When you have all those FRCs and everything like that, a lot of supers don't feel useful enough as they should in the grand scheme of the games when you have so many different options. So I do think a knee-jerk reaction to that when I look at that is I do think that keeps the idea that supers feel special, and you're always going to see a super, which I think is good, because I do think it is a, as my Fiji bottle pops, I do think that it is a, you know, it's a potential quotation marks problem that so many times you have games when, again, FRCs are so useful, so many other system mechanics are useful that you're not going to see the super. And I do think that fixes that, so to speak, right? As for parry, again, I'm not a big fan of parry. I don't care about parry. I think parry is lame. But, you know, it's in, so I'm sure they're not going to take parry away, dude. So what I do think is, though, when I look at it, I don't know why block damage is not in the game when parry and all this other kind of shit is in it. I would actually think that block damage should be... I think there's only block damage in the game if you lose drive bar or whatever the fuck they're calling it. I actually think, you know what I mean, there should be more block damage. I mean, if you're going to have parry and all these other fucking options in the game, there should be more incentive, I think, that the player is constantly using the drive bar throughout the match. Like, you want to parry everything. You want to always be running on empty, so to speak, right? You don't ever want to block anything regularly. You know what I mean? Anything like that. I think they should make blocking, your block goes me. It's kind of it even functions as part of a guard bar, doesn't it? You know what I mean? I think if you're going to have parry be so easy that you can just hold it down when your guy's waking up, all this kind of shit, I think that there needs to be more incentive to even use it. So thus, because you're using it more, there's more, you know, chances of you fucking up while using it, so to speak. All right, because I don't agree with no block damage unless you've actually lost all your drive bar, whatever like that. So I think things should be depleting the bar more when you block and attack. I think block damage should be in the game even more significantly. So that's kind of my knee-jerk reactions when I look at it. I think it's interesting that they have you know, some of your versatile offensive options and your versatile defensive options are all combined with this one bar, while you're still going to allow specials or supers to feel special. You know what I mean, so to speak. Again, I don't like EX moves in general, though. You know what I mean? I've already talked about that. They're not good for video games. It's better just to have you know what I mean? Like they did in Guilty Gear. They're better like that. But excuse me. That's basically my knee-jerk reaction when I looked at that. You know, I just kind of looked at it recently. Again, I hopefully when the game finally comes out, you need to be. I hope there's more incentive that you are constantly worried that you're about to run out of this because you never want to block shit. Your your guard bar goes down. It functions as a guard bar too. Goes down really quickly. You take a lot of block damage, so you always want to parry. You always want to use something that you are not in this situation, especially when it looks so easy to use, so to speak, right? Besides that, I guess just a little talk about Ryu. I kind of he has that little Hado charge like electricity thing. You know, I saw that he has like an electric Shin Shoryuken or whatever, but I saw that it supposedly only does that when he's almost dead. I actually think it would be cooler if when you do the charge thing, whatever like that, if then when you do that, then you get the electric Shin Shoryuken. That just seems more logical to me than when you're almost dead. I know when you're almost dead, you do more life, but that's not out of the ordinary in the first place. Lots of games have done stuff when you're almost dead that you do more damage. So I think there should be something, you know, for that a charge, electric move, whatever. Maybe if you hold it down, the longer you hold it down, you know what I mean, the more moves you can do, you know what I mean, that stay charged, not just a single button like that. Maybe if they added a EX version of that move, the EX version of that move or something like that, maybe you can cancel out of specials, so you could do a DP or something like that, then electric, the EX version of it or something like that, then go into an attack or something like that, you know what I mean? I hope that the electric charge thing is fleshed out a little bit more, I think. I don't care about no close standing normals. I think that's bullshit. It's stupid. Again, there is complexity and redundancy. I've made videos talking about this in my game theory videos. You know what I mean? I've made so many videos talking about when you get rid of moves, it actually does not fix games. You know what I mean? The precedent is there. You know what I mean? There is complexity and redundancy, believe it or not. And then I saw Guile has just frame sonic booms. That sounds completely bullshit to me. I have a very hard time believing that there's a legitimate just frame sonic booms in this game, especially newer game. You know what I mean? Even I remember when Street Fighter 4 came out and people were making up a ton of bullshit about just frame shit. You know what I mean? Like that. And like, oh, you got to plink now for just frames because they're so hard. And it's like, dude, and people were messing with me. How are you doing these combos in this game when you don't play? How do you do all these guy combos? They're just frames. Like, fuck if I know. And they're like, are you plinking it? I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck a plink is. I think I looked it up, and this is how stupid I am. I don't even know what I'm saying. A plink is when you press two buttons when you do it. Is that correct? I don't even know, dude. I don't fucking know. Anyway, the point is that just the idea that there's just frames in the first place, very misleading. You know what I mean? Even going just frame is just just frames is a fucking buzzword. I would be shocked if they are real just frame sonic booms. Who knows? Maybe it's like if you do it within so many frames or some bullshit. You know what I mean? That you do it, but a legitimate just frame, I don't know what that bullshit is about. And people were saying some other characters, maybe Luke has a uppercut my butthole thing, a just frame, but a legitimate just frame, I just don't buy it. Sounds like a buzzword shit to me. Anyway, I can't really talk about the system other than that because again I haven't really watched it. Again, you know what? I made that video about recently how much video games I play. You saw it, dude. I play video games so little. I've played less video games in 15 years than this guy has played in, I don't know, maybe a year or two or something. It was ridiculous. And I even looking. I think I've played maybe 2 hours of video games in almost 2 months. It looks like month and a half, 2 months maybe. So, you know, and then I saw that DNF or DFN, is it DNF or DFN? DNF or DFN? What you know, the Dungeon Fighter Neo online? How does that Dungeon Fighter New? Dungeon Neo? What is that? DNF? I thought it was Dungeon Fighter Online, but isn't that DFO? Anyway, that aside, I still haven't played it. I don't know anything about it. I watched another 5 minutes of it, and my opinion is still the same. Better for a game to fail because it's different and weird than a game to fail because it's boring. Okay? So I don't know anything about the game. I look at the game and I think if I was a kid and I played a lot of video games, I'd probably still play it. I would even go as far to say it might be the most interesting fighting game in the past 10 years. I don't fucking know. Looking at it, excuse me, it looks interesting. If I was young and I played video games regularly, I would look into it. But I just... Is this the thumbnail? That's the thumbnail. Dungeon Fighter, Street Fighter 6. Okay. Dude, someone's going to screenshot that and put like a cock on me or some bullshit, dude. Anyway, so I think the game looks interesting. And I always use a good example of if something is weird, you know what I mean? It can like stay in the heart and your mind forever. Karnav's Revenge, I always use it as such a great example because people don't remember the game really, but they'll remember Karnav because Karnav was so weird and he sticks out so much, right? You know what I mean? That he's just a charming character because he's just so fucking weird that he's remembered in the heart. In the heart. He's remembered in your heart, in your brain. As a memorable character. So Dungeon Fighter Online, I don't know who the fuck, if the game's considered broken right now. Oh, use these. I don't know who's considered good in the game. I hope there's not a booger. We're safe for now. Like I said, I've been sick, dude. Getting over this fucking bronchitis has been terrible, dude. Anyway, Karnav is remembered because he's charming, he's weird, he's different, dude. And that's why I say Dungeon Fighter Online. I don't know if the game is broken. You know, broken, quotation marks. What game isn't quotation marks broken? What game isn't quotation? You know, sometimes there's balance in brokenness, right? But the point is, at least the game is weird. And for that sole reason, the game looks successful to me in my 15 minutes of watching the game. You know what I mean? If the game ends up being completely terrible, you know what? At least people are going to remember because it's fucking weird as fuck. Rather than a game that is going to be not remembered because it's boring, right? So I think that is a success in that kind of thing. And, you know, I've said before, some of the only new things you can do in a video game is the system. It is so hard, you know, to make in a 2D realm fighting game, to make a legitimately new character, right? So the system is one of the only new things that you can constantly, you know, more readily available to try to make different, to throw a different spin on what is a fighting game. And so when you look at how weird that is and blah, 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 the game is succeeding in throwing a new spin on a fighting game, I think. And that is good. Now, I can't tell you how good the game is per se because I've never even played it. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how foundationally broken it is. It could be, right? I mean, I have no idea. But at least game system-wise, it's something different. Just like Dragon Ball FighterZ, I looked at the game a little bit. Foundationally speaking, the game is fucking terrible. Foundationally, the game is riddled with flaws. But something Dragon Ball FighterZ does do is you can see there is a new system in the game that had potential. And it's unfortunate that, you know, they didn't trust that narrative, you know what I mean? Again, watch the narrative of how you sell a fighting game, all this kind of stuff. But anyway, and even on that note, you know, Capcom is pretty decent at, you know what I mean, generally speaking, making new kind of game systems. Not all Capcom games are good, obviously, so to speak. But, you know, Street Fighter 6, you know, you got to do the system. At least they're doing something new with the system. Unlike something like, dude, fucking the new King of Fighters. King of Fighters is tired and old. I used to be a big King of Fighter fan, dude, right? But King of Fighters is tired and old. The systems are not new. They are boring. They are not fresh. King of Fighters has no charm factor whatsoever, in my opinion. Okay? I don't give a fuck, you know, what you say. King of Fighters, dude, Saishu Kissen Final Showdown, my name was because of King of Fighters. King of Fighters used to be super charming. King of Fighters has zero charm now, as far as I'm concerned, right? So some of the system is some of the only new thing you can do. Like I said, Strive was weird because Strive, they have a new system, but the new system is flawed. The wall is terrible. I looked at what these fucking hate. I can't believe there are people actually in my comments trying to explain to me how the wall works. Are you a fucking idiot? I know how the wall works. Do you need to go back and look at my videos? It was so crazy to me. And I looked, and of course they're like Sajam followers or like Buttmonger followers. And it's like, dude, you guys were the ones that were trying to say that I was wrong when I told you how the wall works 2 years ago. Or what was it? It was 22 months ago or something when the game first came. How early did I predict the game? It was almost 2 years. And I'm like, this is how the wall works. I'm like, no, that isn't how it works. Game came out. Wow, everything I said about the game is true, okay? And these guys got so mad. They're like, it doesn't count that you predicted the game that early because it was too early. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Retarded. You know what I mean? It's no wonder you guys are idiots when you have, they say are we the sum of the 5 people around us? What is that saying? If you surround yourself by idiots, no wonder you're an idiot, okay? And it was even crazier because I've showed you guys videos. This is exactly how this game is going to work. I made videos telling you how the announcers were going to call the game. Has anyone ever done that? Has anyone ever made a video besides me that was so sure how a game was going to be called that they made a video saying this is how a announcer is going to call this game? That is how sure I was of Strive. And I was correct. I predicted how the announcers were going to call the game, let alone the fucking system. Are you fucking kidding me? Ridiculous. So yeah, Strive, and like I said, Strive is funny too because you can tell. It's not like they don't have any ideas. Like I said, they still can reinvent characters great. I think a lot of characters in Strive, they could be EX characters, they're good. You can tell there's a little bit of brain function there. The people are still designing quotation marks new characters or reinventing the characters, and they deserve props for that. But like I said, the funny thing about Guilty Gear is, you know what I mean, the game system is good too before, but it was always a series that teeter-tottered on having a good game system and having, the goodwill of the game system, adding things like bursts just in case, you know what I mean, fail safes, all this kind of shit, while having interesting characters. But the characters are what really showed off the game. The characters teeter-tottered that they were a little bit more important than the system, right? And then Strive, unfortunately, teeter-tottered that the system is now more important than the characters. But you can see Strive, the characters are still the best thing about your game. You made a new game system where the whole gimmick of the game is terribly fucking flawed with the wall. You know what I mean? I can't believe I saw some motherfucker trying to say this is how I said to change the wall. Guy didn't even say what I fucking said. Incredible how fucking retarded you guys are. You know what I mean? Oh, this is all drift FRC. Drift, what the fuck is this shit called? I can't keep up with these fucking weird names, dude, right? And it's like you're adding in all these new game system. Okay, I get it. Drift FRC, blah, blah, blah. All that kind of shit is cool, but look at some of this other shit. You have based this game, foundationally this fucking wall, incredibly unintuitive, encourages you to play the game safe. It encourages you not to play the game optimally. I also saw some motherfuckers trying to say that people have adjusted to the wall and now everyone plays the game optimally. You are a fucking idiot. What a fucking idiot. Oh, we all play the game optimally. Wow. Are you serious? What a fucking... Can you imagine? Just say, I play the game optimally. Are you kidding me? We know... If you played the game optimally, why aren't you fucking winning tournaments? Are you a fucking idiot? Okay? Just stop. You don't have to pretend to be smart, okay? You don't have to pretend to be the best to have an intelligent conversation. Motherfuckers, I play the game optimally. No... If you played the game optimally, we would win every fucking tournament, okay? Give me a fucking break. Stupid buzzword, right? Just like fucking announcers when they're fucking calling a fucking tournament. Oh, that shit's optimal. And it's not even close. Did you get paid to say that bullshit? Fuck me. Anyway, yeah, so... Yeah, I ranted. I just don't have a lot of stuff to talk about video game wise because it's, I don't know. Like I said, if I had money, I'd probably play the DNFO, whatever the fuck it's called. I'd probably put it in and play training mode. If someone wants to buy me the game, I will play it. And I will tell you if I think it is a foundationally flawed game. If you want to donate to the channel, I promise you, if you donate me the money to buy the game, I will play it. not promising any combo videos, but I will play it, and then I will try to give more of an accurate description of what I think about the game. But, you know, point is, anyway, Street Fighter 6, you know, DNFO, Strive, all these other games. Is that Dragon Ball Fighter Z patch ever coming out? Whatever happened to that? Again, not really following games and all that kind of shit very well, but remember, if you like the videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share. Support the channel if you want. Support the pimple on the nose if you want. That was for that dude mad about my shirt. You mad about my shirt? I'm mad about your shirt. Some motherfucker saying he mad about my shirt. Fuck you. Retarded, dude.